Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Well, we are back once again on the Inspiration Station where we do what, y'all? We upsize in 2025 all day, every day. Y'all already know what it is. Welcome, y'all. It is November the 21st. Y'all know I gotta say it, so just don't even roll your eyes or nothing, but November is in a rush to get somewhere, right? Am I the only one who feels that way? I know I'm not. November is in a rush to get somewhere. 2025 has been in a rush to get somewhere, but yet we're just holding on to God's unchanging hand. How y'all doing as y'all are coming in here? Some of y'all may be still working, some of y'all are driving, some of y'all are at home, some of y'all might be working out, some of y'all might be cooking. What you cooking? I want to know because I'm a little hungry right now. But anyway, I hope that your day has been as great as you are. And I just hope also, as I always say, y'all, if you have some challenges, we all have challenges and stuff, right? But they do not overcome us. We overcome them. And let those continue to be indicators to let you know that there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can hinder you. You might have a challenge, but you're going to overcome that thing as you have time and time again. Hey, everybody out on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Audible, Amazon, Spotify, and Apple, and at your mama's house, your cousin's house, the radio stations, the television stations, your families, your cousins, everything, all of that stuff, everybody and everyone who is everyone. I hope that you all are feeling well too, no matter what is going on around you, what's going on within you, you are well. You have joy, you have peace, you are loved, even if it doesn't feel like it. Feeling is one thing, but the actual truth is you are all of these things and you have all of these things regardless of what your current circumstances are. So if this is your first time here, this is not going to be your last because now you are held hostage. You can't go anywhere. You have to lock in every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Inspiration Station. I don't care what you say. You're here now, and we can see the numbers and we can see the certain things we can track you. So you better keep showing up, okay? Are y'all ready for Thanksgiving? I know I am. I am excited. That's one of my favorite holidays, especially to cook and eat. Don't get it twisted. Have to do a little bit more working out, but it's all worth it. But I am just it's so excited. And one thing I always like to drive home is when we have holidays or even birthdays, things to celebrate something, Christmas, Easter, whatever that is, let those be things that we do or we put into practice all year round. Let's not wait until a holiday to come together and fellowship and to love on one another and cook. Cooking is good, and praise God. But or to celebrate people, don't wait till their birthday to let them know how much you care, how much their presence means to you, how you are so mindful and thoughtful of them on that day. Let them know that all year round. And even as we come up upon Thanksgiving, which is in exactly, let's see, what, 6 days, y'all? I can count, I promise you. But I think it's 6 days because it's next Thursday. But it used to be an old song we used to sing in the church that say, every day is a day of Thanksgiving. And I'm gonna leave it right there. I wanted to be really, really loud, but I don't want to blow y'all ears out because I really sing really loud, but I just didn't want to be scaring none of y'all right now. But I want to drive that home. The song would say every day is a day of Thanksgiving. Every day is a day of Thanksgiving. And it's not just about the food. It's not just about the gathering. It's about being thankful for each and everything that you have, each and every person in your life. Thankful for your health, life, and strength. Every thing that God has blessed you with. And most of all, thankful to Him who continues to cause you to triumph, who continues to keep his hand upon you, who continues to cover you, protect you, provide for you, love you, walk this thing out that we call life with you each and every day, never abandoning you. He's always with us. So that's something to always give thanks. But that should be a daily thing. So we don't have to wait until it's time to gobble gobble and all of that to just celebrate that holiday. So we're going to move really quick, y'all. But if this is your first time, again, the Inspiration Station is not just about this person who you're hearing and that is right in front of your face right now or that you're listening to. But the Inspiration Station is a place where we recognize each and every one of us are an inspiration, not just to other people, but also to ourselves. There are so many catalogs and categories in your life that you can or Rolodex, that's a little old, but Rolodex that you can go back and reference to remind you that there is absolutely nothing that you cannot do, and there's absolutely nothing that you can't get through because you have several different things to pull from to keep you moving forward. Also, this is a place where also we'll have people coming in at random at times, coming to be interviewed, and they're going to drop in and share some wonderful nuggets of wisdom to help us put those things in our own toolbox and apply them to our lives and allow us to continue to make forward action. Because here on the Inspiration Station, while you'll be inspired, motivated, encouraged, and all of that good stuff, you might be crying and all that stuff, got your tissue boxes and stuff out like that. This is a place where you are to move in action after you leave here, whether that is even in the action of your thinking. Something's been deposited in you that's going to cause you to make some level of forward progress. Okay. Also, this is a place where we're vulnerable. We're not just vulnerable with each other, but we learn to be more vulnerable with ourselves, because often the relationship that we have with ourselves is what? Most neglected. Very good, class. I heard y'all. I could hear y'all in my spirit. But that is the one that's usually put in the corner because we might forget about ourselves because we have such a great demand, or we have such a heart for other people, and we want to hear them and be a shoulder for them and be an ear for them. And you have to make sure that you are pouring back into yourself as well, and sitting with yourself as well, and working for healing for yourself. So we're going to keep on moving really quick, y'all. I'm not going to hold you long, but I want you to get to your wonderful Fridays. And as I say, y'all don't have to tell me. I already know this is your best. This is the best part of your week. I know it's being with me. I know you just don't tell your family and your spouse, or your best friend or nothing like that. Don't tell people like that who they might feel a certain way and be trying to contact me, and I don't have time for those problems. Okay, so but we can keep that between us. That this is your best time, and you just couldn't wait to get here today or whenever you're going to watch this. So, and a big shout out and love to each and every one of you that are overseas. I am loving finding out all the people that are over in the UK and London that are watching me. I'm so glad to hear that, so many of you. But people who are also in Japan, also down in Australia, down under, over in just other areas, y'all. This is not geographic exploration right now, but I'm just grateful to know, not just in the United States, but that the Inspiration Station is being an inspiration to those all around the world. So we give God the complete glory for the things that he is doing and continuing to do for all of us, right? What I want to talk to you really briefly tonight on is you're worth more than that. Lay your hand on yourself and say, I'm worth more than that. What am I more worth than? Well, let me tell you something. Many of you and many people, maybe your friends, we'll just say your friends or family members or that person that's sitting next to you or that's around you right now. Sometimes we are looked upon, or you are looked upon, as a person who is sought after for what you can do versus who you are. People come to you because of all the wonderful things you can do for them. You're very generous, you're very giving, you're very loving, you're very kind. You will move mountains for people. You will do anything that you can. If somebody comes to you, they know that they're going to get a solution. If they know they're coming to you, they know that they have a friend in you. They know you're always going to be available. I'm not going to say always available, but you make yourself available to be present with people. And oftentimes, what you do versus who you are can get so entangled or misconstrued, because now this makes it seem as if your value is really tied to what you can provide, and people forget about who you are. And what does that mean? Or what does that even look like? People can be looking for your hand and not your heart. Y'all hear me? They can be looking for your hand and not your heart. They're always looking for you to extend yourself. They're always looking for you to give them something. And it's like, you think about sometimes when people might call you, and before they might say, hey, how you doing? It's like, I'm doing good. And they immediately start to go into their needs or something that they need from you, or something they want to ask you, a question or anything. And sometimes people don't really care about how you feel. They're just looking to see what they can get from you. And I'm pretty sure many of you, including myself, have had many instances where you've had people in your life and you felt like, oh, they loved you. They were great people to you, but you never paid attention that they really never gave a lot of energy or effort to who you are. Like your personality, just your presence alone, just you being in their presence was enough. But they always were looking to pull on you, always needing something from you. It could never just be, can I do anything for you? It's always, hey, can you do this? I was thinking, hey, can I borrow this? I'll pay you back. All of those types of things. They're looking for your hand and not your heart. This can also be a thing where you might draw people that way because you teach them that it's okay to do so. There's no boundary. You're not telling anybody no because you feel like also you might be obligated to take care of everybody, to help everybody that you can because your heart is so big and not realizing that people are seeing you and they become a leech. And if you're not nipping that thing in the bud, you're tolerating it and you're teaching everybody that this is okay. This is also where a person can have a difficulty in knowing that their value is being in what they have and what they can give in order to receive acceptance. My value is being in what I can give and what I have so I can get acceptance. So why does that happen when, and again, if you think about it, if you have ever dealt with fear of rejection, abandonment, or neglect, you know what I'm talking about. And it's okay. And it's no shame, ain't no shame in nobody's game because the person who you're talking to can understand or who you're listening to can understand greatly. But I know the people that I'm talking to because all of you all I know are very generous, very loving, very giving, but some of you have been very hurt as well by being that type of person. But again, if you've known sometimes maybe your value because of over time, this is what you see people coming to you for. They're always coming. So that makes you feel like, hey, I must have value in what I can do and provide because people always come to me, they have a need and I love to meet people's needs. Why do I love to meet people's needs so much? Maybe I want to be accepted. Maybe because I've dealt with people pushing me away or people abandoning me, coming in and out of my life or being in my life 1 minute and then they vanish and they keep coming in and out like it's an open door policy or my needs and my emotions have been neglected. So I might be one of those people who will do anything I can for people to keep them near. Did y'all catch what I just said? I'll do whatever I can. How many of you can be honest and know that you have probably done overextended yourself to people just because, even to your detriment, just so that they would stay around, just so they would make you feel as if you were needed? If you remember several episodes back, y'all, I'm not gonna make you do no homework or make you tell me right now, but there's several episodes back where I mentioned 4 things that also tie into this. Is if you grew up in a way feeling unwanted, unheard, unseen, and overlooked, you might see your value in what you can do because you feel like if anybody gives you some attention, you just like, you like me or you want to be friends with me or you want to be cool with me, you want to date me, you want to join my organization, you want to be under my leadership. And it's like there's a thing that goes in the mind because again, even when we talk about the specifics of rejection, when someone's rejected, that is trauma. And I know for some people, maybe if you're learning this, you're going to learn this now. This is going to be one of those learning moments, psychoeducation, that when rejection is viewed just as much as pain as any physical pain. So rejection actually equals physical pain to our parasympathetic nerves in our body. So again, if I'm being rejected over and over again, it's no different than equating to physical pain. So like if you've been punched in the face or something, or punched in your stomach or something, that can be the same feeling that comes across to your nervous system, or again, your parasympathetic nerves as this is what am I saying, y'all? As it's pain, physical pain. So rejection equals physical pain according to our parasympathetic nerves. Y'all got it? Okay, and I want y'all to remember that. So the next time somebody talks about rejection or how rejected they have been, I want you to think about how, or even for yourself, how that you've actually felt physical pain according to your parasympathetic nerves. Okay, that's a good moment. So clap it up. Good teaching moment. Y'all learn something new, or maybe it's many of you have known. I know it's a lot of educated individuals on here with us, as always, but all of us actually are very educated because if you're not educated in scholastic or academia, you are in life. Okay. Where does this also lead us to if we've dealt with fear of rejection, abandonment, and neglect because of past relationships or past family issues or friendships or anything, organizations, anything like that? We also feel like this could be a need to prove myself. So if I do and do and do and do for you, well, maybe that calls me to be, maybe you're going to reciprocate at some point. Or maybe it's a way of you knowing that I'm a solid person in your life, or that I really care for you, I really love you. And again, you are people who really have great heart. You have great motives. I know that, right? You all have great intent. But why would I have to do so much to prove myself as worthy of your presence in my life. Again, because I've dealt with rejection, abandonment, and neglect, I never really have known my place in somebody's life. And I've never seen permanent or consistent people to remain in my space unless I'm doing something for them. Also, this leads to people pleasing. We love people pleasing, right? This can lead to people pleasing and also perfectionism. So I've got to do everything right because I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to let anybody down. I don't want to be alone. So I'm willing to do any and everything that I can to keep you happy, to keep you continuing to call on me because again that makes me feel needed, so then that makes me feel accepted, that makes me feel wanted, that makes me feel seen, and that makes me feel heard. But I guarantee many of you can agree with me that when you withdraw, you see changes. People change up on you, or they go to the next person that they can get things out of, or they start to guilt trip you, or try to make you feel bad for not being and doing what you usually do for them. My mother taught me a hard lesson. She told me I was about 19. She came to visit me down in college at UTC, and she could pick up on some things. And she pulled me to the side. She said, "Baby," she said, "if you died tomorrow," and I'm looking like my mom is very prophetic. So I was kind of like, "Wait a minute, do you know something?" Like, "Mom, wait a minute." She said, "If you died tomorrow, God forbid, all these people who are you thinking are depending on you and they need you and they want you and all of these things and they can't go on without you, they will find somebody else." And I looked at her like, "What? Like, this is what?" And she was like, "Baby, you got to learn how to be selfish." What she meant by selfish, and when she said it, I was like, "This is one of the most giving people I have ever known in my life. What is she talking about being selfish?" What she meant is that I have to make sure I regard myself first and make sure that I'm good first before trying to extend myself to so many people. But what do you tell that? How do you tell that to a young man who has had a father who was absent from jump, and also had people always pushing them away, or the only way. And one thing for me, I recognized that I would love when I would see people really like to want to be around me. It would just make me be like, people really want to be around me. Like, wow. But when I look back at it now, it's because of all the things I would do for them, and I meant well. But I didn't realize I was operating from a level of like unhealthy acceptance. Because if I do all of this stuff for you, you'll stay in my life. But if I don't do all this stuff for you, you'll ghost me or you'll move on to the next person. What are the consequences of doing all of this, y'all? We can be taken advantage of or used. Also, you can be easily manipulated. People will know what they can play on with you. I'll use this for a quick example. I remember I used to always say I wanted to be an uncle because I'm the only child. But I would pray to God for siblings and God, please, like stir up in my mother to have. And my mother, I think my mother heard me one time because I used to pray loud sometimes when I was a little kid. And I think she heard me. And I was like, she talked to me the next day. She said, "You were talking to the Lord?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And I was just praying and asking. And I said, "I'm just praying for brothers and sisters." And she was like, "Oh, baby, well, we'll see what the Lord says, whatnot." But I always wanted siblings and nieces and nephews. So what the Lord would do, y'all, He will answer prayer. When I got older, there were people in my life who were like brothers and sisters, and I still have many of them now. And some of them have children that are young. Some of them their children are grown. But I have been Uncle Josh for I don't know how long, I can tell you forever. And I was so grateful to God for that because I was like, I wanted to be an uncle. That's what I wanted to be a brother too. Well, I noticed that some people who are no longer in my life in the past, when I wouldn't do certain things or whatever, it's like they would take their kids away from me, pull their kids away from me. Or if they wanted something from me, they would throw the kids up so because they would know I would do anything for the children. So it's like they would manipulate me in any way to get their needs met. So again, you have this kind, wonderful heart, and I know I'm speaking to people right now. I know y'all are thinking about some things, and I know you're also thinking about where you used to be versus where you are now, because many of you are not this same person who's a doormat, not the same person who people can just get over on, not this same person who gives access to everybody who needs something from you, knowing that you need to see some level of reciprocation if people are going to be in your life. This is not a one-way street. This is two-way. And sometimes, let me be clear, what you give to other people, they're going to give, if they can reciprocate back to you, it just may look different. If you're a person who loves to give gifts to people and you like to do stuff, well, that person might not be a person who's going to give you gifts, but they give you their time. or they're always present for you. They're always checking in on you. They always want to make sure you're good. They're always consistent with you. And I can go in different areas of that or different examples of that. So again, reciprocation is important. You got this big heart of yours and you love hard and you have such compassion, you're generous, and you should never change those parts about yourself. You just have to change access. Everybody doesn't deserve to have access to that kind of heart that you have, that kind of spirit you have, that kind of presence you have. It costs too much for you to even be that person because some of you have been through so many things. You actually could be an evil person. You actually could be cold hearted. You could be a person who is not giving anymore. You could be very stingy. You could be very selfish and like, I don't care about anybody, but that's not your nature. So it's never meant, let me say this really quick. There was never anything wrong or I'll say never anything in error of you wanting to give and be such a cheerful person in providing for people and helping people. That's the core of who you are. The only unhealthy thing was you didn't realize that you were doing that out of a place of wanting to have acceptance, not knowing that your presence alone, if you just show up, that's enough. If you don't do anything, and I'm saying it to you right now in your life today, just your presence alone, your spirit, your heart, your personality, just showing up is enough. If you don't lift a finger, you've done enough just for showing up in somebody's life. All right, y'all. So again, the consequences of that, if we are these people who are always wanting to give and do for people just so they'll stay around, and that's in anything. Y'all, you can see that in your families, your friends, your relationships of any kind, your job, anything. You might really be taken advantage of if people can sense that and they know, oh, wait, let me see, because see, I can sense on them that they are a person who wants to be wanted. They're a person who wants to be seen. They're a person who wants to be heard, and it's very obvious. It's written all over your face. Yeah, you don't have to say a word. So let me manipulate that to my advantage, and let me take advantage of that person. Let me use that person. Let me use it to my advantage. Now, be clear. There are times you've seen it, you just ignored it. Or maybe you had the rose-colored glasses on because you saw the best in people. Oh no, it's okay. And there's a thin line too when we talk about people pleasing. Sometimes a person or perfectionism. Sometimes you really are just doing. You want to do your best for people and do your best by people, and it's not so much as where you're trying to win them over. That's just your nature. You know how to do things with excellence, and if anything, we do excellent things as we're doing unto the Lord. We give it 100%. And it has nothing to do with you trying to win somebody over. Okay. So, last little point I want to say is that you never belong on the clearance rack. Once you think about clothes, you never have belonged on the clearance rack because you are in the store catalog. I might be telling on myself just a little bit because some of y'all, if you're young, you might not remember this. But again, with a catalog, that means you have to be ordered. You can't go in a store and get that item. It's not in stock. You have to order that. It's also sometimes a special order to be made. Now, look, we all love a good clearance sale, right? But if we go in a store, like the seasons are changing or something like that, and you're like, oh shoot, I'm finna go rack up because they done marked all this stuff down. Marked all this stuff down. I'm finna make a killing on this. That was $40. Look, it's like $6 now. So again, when you think about the clearance rack, which you never have belonged on, even if people have made you feel like you belonged on a clearance rack, you got marked down. You're marked down, so your price, your value is marked down, and you're easily accessible, right? Because if you go into a store and go to a clearance rack or to get any clothes, it's right there in your face. You can get it. And if it's on the clearance rack, it's marked down beneath this original value. Y'all hear me? It's marked down from its original value. But if you're in a store catalog, people have to go through a process to order you. Get it? That means you can't be surrounded by things everyone can have immediately. You cannot be surrounded by things everyone can have immediately. If you're in the store, again, follow me, on the clearance rack, that's where we're staying. Sometimes that's in the front of the store, sometimes it's in the back of the store. But everyone has access to that and they can get it immediately. It's quick. When you're a person of value like yourself, which you're in the store catalog, somebody has to go through a series of steps to just process the order. I can't even get it yet, but there's some steps you got to go through to get you. You got me? Also, on the clearance rack, stuff is very appealing because it has been cheapened. and there is a need to get rid of it. Usually they're trying to knock that inventory out, especially when them seasons change. They're like, okay, we gotta get rid of this stuff. We gotta bring in. We're getting rid of this old stuff so we can bring in and make room for new stuff. So it's like it's appealing because it's the price is cheaper, but there's a need to get rid of it. Versus being in a store catalog, that means somebody has to have a desire to attain something that they have to wait patiently for due to its value. And that's who I'm talking to each and every one of you. Y'all are in the store catalog. Ain't nobody on there, can't nobody put you on no clearance rack. People have treated you like you on a clearance rack. That was never true. You are a person that people have a desire to attain, to have in their lives. And that's something that people have to wait on patiently because of your value. Because now you got to take them steps. People have to take that step and go through the process to get to you, and it takes time for them to receive you fully. Y'all, I'm sure some of y'all should be knocking something over. I want to knock everything over on this desk, but think of yourself as a person who is such great value. You're in the store catalog. People cannot just access you immediately. They have to go through a process to get to you. You're too valuable. You can't be just open and available for everybody because some people can't handle your value. Some people don't have the level of standard that you do. Some people don't can't they can drain you if they get close to you because of all that you have to offer, all that you pour out, all that you mean. You're so meaningful, you're so mindful, you're so thoughtful, you're so caring, you're so loving. Again, you're so generous, you're so compassionate, empathetic. You're loyal, you're faithful, you're reliable, you're dependable, you're responsible. You're a person that people can immediately count on. And you're rare. It's not a lot of people like you. You cannot find not one person like you. So again, you're not on the clearance rack. You're in the store catalog. People got to go through a process to get you, to get to you. Um, and even in that, they still have to wait patiently because your value is so high, they got to wait for you to be shipped, to be presented to them. So it takes time to get to a person like you. Last thing I want to say, y'all, and we up out of here. I want to just say, and I hope y'all are getting this. I hope things are stirring up in your heart and your spirit and your mind and your blood and everything of you just thinking about how you may have looked a little lower at yourself based on how people treated you and how you have lived your life in moments, maybe not so much anymore, or maybe it still shows up sometimes. You lived your life in the sense of thinking that your value is in what you could provide and give and do for people, not knowing you are the value, just you showing up. If you don't open your mouth, if you don't make one move, you are the value, just your presence alone. So you are valuable. All of you are valuable. And it's not because of your net worth, but it's your self worth. Also, you are priceless, never less in price. I'm gonna say it again, y'all. You are valuable, and it's not because of your net worth, but your self worth. And you are priceless, never less in price. Ain't nobody marking you down. Can't nobody cheapen you. And but your life speaks volumes of expense. You are expensive. You paid the price to be expensive. Nobody has seen the things that you've gone through to be developed into the beautiful person you are, into the amazing person you are, and the person who still shows up and smiles and gives 100% to each and every area of their lives. Even if you're not at 100, you still give 100. So you're expensive. It's expensive to be around you. It's expensive to be near you. It's expensive to know you. But also, you should be surrounded by other people who are expensive and of high value as well. So, without further ado, y'all, I hope that you got a lot of information from this and that your heart is full and that you realize you have always been valuable. Always. You're catching up to it. You're catching up to it, or now you know it. You know it. As I've said before, your rarity is a specialty because there's no one like you. You are rare. There ain't nobody like you. It's not. You cannot find anyone like you. Um, so I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of this evening. I have enjoyed my time with you as I always do. That clearance rack and store catalog has really got me thinking on some things, y'all. But because you can really see yourself in a way, and actually, people actually see your value, and they just hope that you don't. They see that you think you belong on the clearance rack, so they treat you accordingly, not knowing that you actually are on the store catalog. They know you're that type of person. You just don't know sometimes. So something to think about. But your rarity is a specialty, as I've said, and you've always been great. You're just getting better and finally embracing it. So please share this out. I love each and every one of you. I really appreciate your time here. Your time is valuable to me. Your time is valuable because each of y'all are expensive. So that's what y'all need to say. Start going around and be like, look, I'm expensive. Go look in the mirror and be like, I'm expensive. You can't cheapen me. You can't mark me down, and I won't be around people who try to make me feel that way. So shine bright, y'all. Have a great rest of this day, evening, morning, wherever you are watching this at this time. And I look forward to seeing y'all win next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And I know the other time zones. I'm just not going to go down through all of that. So you all can go look that or go Google it. But I love y'all. Please spread love now more than ever. We need it. And we need the unity with where we can find it. And that starts with you. So I will talk to y'all later. See y'all next Friday. Bye.
Thanks for watching The Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.